Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I know that it's controversial, but I still wanted to, there was a couple more clips I wanted to show you from this interview that was done by this Crypto Lulu. Give him a subscribe. I want to make sure he gets proper credit here. Give him a subscribe. This is on his YouTube channel, Crypto Lulu. All right. Now this is Jimmy Valley, of course. I want you to hear what he says here. And I wanted to show you this because all this talk, you know, we always hear people talk about crypto in terms of the markets and all of that. That's not what captured me about XRP and Ripple all this time. What captured me was not the ups and downs. That's why I've made 2 videos a day, regardless of what the markets are doing. You don't see me show up when the markets are in the green and then disappear when they're not, because it's about a much bigger thing. We're not crazy. When you're saying the words IMF in the same sentence with Ripple, it's not because we have lost our marbles. It's because of what we've seen. And that's why I've been fixated on this for all these years. So I want you to listen to what, and when you hear Bretton Woods brought up, it's not because we're crazy, it's because of what we've seen. Listen to this.
Bretton Woods was just a freaking business deal.
Exactly.
A bunch of people got in the room and said, we're gonna do this going forward. Yeah. This has happened multiple times in history, and by the way, the other way that this gets resolved are through revolutions, riots, war. I like to think, notwithstanding what's going on in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia and the whole Eastern Europe thing, I think humanity has gotten to a level we don't need war anymore. Yep. We can actually sit down at a table and negotiate and have the power of the pen be how these issues get resolved. Yep. And this is one way. Probably not the way, but it is one way that you could see that this gets worked out. So 23.
What's interesting about the discussion with Jimmy Valley and the buyback, what's so interesting about it is that, yes, I was told 2 or 3 years ago that XRP was created to prevent World War III. I think just about all the craziness that you've witnessed over the last 3 to 5 years is very specifically because everybody knows, all these countries know that it's the changeover from the US dollar as the world reserve currency to something different, maybe some kind of compromise. That's what I've always seen XRP as, this bridge currency that is a compromise to the US having the only world reserve currency. That's the way I've always thought of it. Now, what is Bretton Woods? You know, a lot of people out there listening to my voice haven't been around, so I wanted to show you this. The Bretton Woods Agreement, this is from Investopedia. Approximately, they had 730 delegates, 44 countries in Bretton Woods in July 1944, where their principal goal was to create an efficient foreign exchange system, preventing competitive devaluations of currencies and promoting international economic growth. Bretton Woods Agreement and system were central to these goals. Bretton Woods Agreement also created 2 important organizations, the IMF and the World Bank. Bretton Woods system was dissolved in the 70s. That's when Nixon took us off the gold standard. Though the Bretton Woods Conference itself took place over 3 weeks, the preparations for it had been going on for several years. Now, folks, when you think of this, now, are you telling me that the United States did not know that at some point it would lose its world reserve currency status? No country keeps it forever. Are you telling me that this is more important than having nukes, folks? Okay? This issue, you think the United States didn't prepare for it for years? Are you telling me that you really believe that? I don't think you do believe that. Now, we know that even Gary Gensler was involved at Harvard University publicly in 2019 in a simulation digital currency wars. And in that simulation, the digital yuan was this great threat, and it came out of nowhere. And the U.S. is not prepared for it and all of that stuff, okay? If they were having simulations in 2019, what were they doing for the previous decade? What were they doing for the previous 3 decades? I think crypto was created specifically for this purpose, so that we could, going off into the future, have a system where maybe we don't have wars anymore. Look at this last part right here. Wasn't until 1958 the Bretton Woods system became fully functional. Once implemented, its provisions called for U.S. dollar to be pegged to the value of gold. Moreover, all other currencies in the system were then pegged to the U.S. dollar's value. Exchange rate applied at that time. Set price of gold at $35 an ounce. Here's more on that. The IMF came into formal existence in December 1945 when its first 29 member countries signed its Articles of Agreement. The countries agreed to keep their currencies fixed but adjustable with 1% band to the dollar, and the dollar was fixed to gold at $35 an ounce. To this day, when a country joins the IMF, it receives a quota based on the relative position in the world economy, which determines how much it contributes to the fund. 1958 Bretton Woods system became fully functional as currencies became convertible. Countries settled international balances in dollars. A U.S. dollar was convertible to gold at $35. United States had responsibility of keeping the price of gold fixed and had to adjust the supply of dollars to maintain confidence. And then later, Nixon took us off of that. Is it a coincidence that we saw over the last few years Brad Garlinghouse in the room with these people at the IMF? This is Jess Chang. Check this out. Jess Chang was with Ripple. Well, she's a partner here, former Ripple Federal Reserve IMF. So she went to the IMF somewhere in there. A real highlight of my career has been working with Christine Lagarde, my International Monetary Fund colleagues, and the industry pioneers that make up the IMF's high-level advisory group to deepen fintech discussions. And then this is her right here as well. Legal interoperability and retail CBDCs. That's from the European Union, where Christine Lagarde is, or European Central Bank, where Christine Lagarde is. And then we remember the famous clip of Brad Garlinghouse with Ross Leckow, who was the IMF General Counsel. I'll refresh your memory.
The first one's for you. IMF. Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? I did not put that up there.
Okay. What always struck me about this clip is not just that he was on the stage with the IMF guy, but how confident Brad Garlinghouse seemed in this conversation. So when you see that, when you hear that I've been on this channel for over 4 years talking about this one company, this one digital asset, and now I have a gold sponsor, you'll know I'm not joking about XRP and what I believe its importance is in the future world order, or whatever you want to call it, but also gold will be. That's why I have Glenn as a sponsor. That's why the link's in the top of the description. That's why I have a Glenn account, and I have my Glint MasterCard debit card. But all of that is why we're here. We're not here for the next green candle. We're not disappearing tomorrow because XRP drops to 30 cents or whatever. Those are not relevant details to me. What's relevant to me is the big picture, and always has been. And I will remain fixated on this one company and this one digital asset, because I believe there's going to be a time when everything is going to be realized, and it'll be probably an aha moment for the world. And they'll be like, you own an XRP? I believe that day will come. Now, this is another clip with Jimmy Valley that I thought this was both funny and he lays it out perfectly. Listen to what Jimmy Valley says here.
I think really what you're asking me is, what's it going to take to make Jimmy shut the fuck up and go away?
No, not at all.
No. I think that you're doing it in a real polite way. You're British. You would never say it that way. This is the way an American Texan would say.
I love how Texans think. I need to move to Texas.
We would be, and I've said this recently, like we want the free market to be working. We want the government out of the way. They don't seem to know what's going on. You know, and every time you have these senators and stuff coming out road showing their latest crypto bill, they just show that not only do they not know what's going on, they don't seem to care much what's going on. It's about who paid their last campaign contribution. Was it FTX? Was it Multicoin? Was it Galaxy Digital? Who's putting their hands in all these pockets, right? There needs to be a return to kind of equilibrium, and that's going to regulatory clarity is a big step towards taking that. But I think it's regulatory clarity plus righting the wrongs of the last. I think we need transparency. I really think in order for us to heal and move on, we need to know all these shenanigans that took place around the Ethereum free pass. We need to know what happened. We need to know about the memos that got written, all their deliberative stuff that they did to drive off down this path. It's probably the case that they did criminal stuff. And it's probably the case that some people may need to go to jail so that this type of thing never happens again. But we need to know. We can never unscramble the egg and go back to kind of everybody, being joyful and, working together if we don't have justice for what occurred, which is now, we're now in the 5th year since the Ethereum free pass thing. So I think we got to have much better transparency from the government and the regulators. Number one, like a commitment to it, like they say on their website, like in the mission statement, full accountability, working for the American public, all that kind of stuff. We need to see that for real. And we need some type of damages payment to people for the 2 years. It doesn't have to be the stratospheric in-game, whatever that's going to turn out to be. We're still very much in the process of kind of determining that. But, it's $50, $100,000, $1 million. I don't even know. We'll see. We'll see what the data takes us. $1 million. But, it wouldn't have to be that. I hate to throw out a number what that would need to be, and I think there need to be damage model people think that through. But it's not one of these stratospheric numbers. I wouldn't.
He just threw out $1 million. That's I'm just kidding. Like he said, doesn't have to be this stratosphere. It could be $100. Who knows? Who knows what the figure? Anyway. Moving along, big day for Cryptosphere today. Libraries hearing following its defeat to the SEC need the judge to agree that secondary crypto market sales are not subject to security laws. Good luck to everyone involved and the rest of us. Now, Jeremy Hogan weighed in. He said, today is the remedies hearing in the SEC versus library. SEC wants the judge to issue a broad, vague injunction against the sale of the library token in which the token itself becomes the security. Attorney Deaton will be attending live and report back at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Note the problematic language in the SEC's proposed order, all persons in active concert or participating with it. That would be me and you. I've never heard of an injunction applying to individuals who are not a party to a lawsuit, but that's what the SEC wants. So what they're getting at here, folks, is a declaration where the SEC could hold it up and say all sales of all digital assets are securities in the secondary market. That is crazy, folks, what they're trying to do. And my only fear, and I don't know anything about this case, with all the corruption we've seen, my greatest fear would be that this judge is freaking in their pockets. How much further down the road are we from judges being compromised, folks? Not very, not based on what I've seen as far as the corruption. And I'm not saying this judge is. I'm just saying we're not too far down the road from those kind of problems in the United States of America from what I see. Maybe we're already there. Who knows? We don't know. Check this out. This is a snapshot. These were taken from the U.S. debt clock. It says $9,589 to one crypto. This was just added to the debt clock. I wonder which crypto was worth $9,589 in 2013. You guessed it. Ripple XRP was released in 2013. It wasn't worth it. It was released in 2013. Well, 12, somewhere right in there. LOL, the price of XRP was set in 2013. Wow, please share this. This is huge. I'm not saying it was set. I'm just showing you guys tweet, okay? But what it does say down here, I'm looking at the debt clock now. It says dollar to crypto ratio now 1 to $22.95. Since it was zero, well, what was it? What was it in his screenshot? No, it's okay. It's right. Same $22.95. But here it says 9,589 to 1 in 2013. Very strange. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that the ratio crypto to the dollar to crypto in 2013, 9,589. Where in the world is that number coming from? Thanks for listening.